joshin24's, and today we're going to talk a little bit. This is a different kind of video, right? I'm trying to, branch out a little bit, maybe get some views here. One of the things I want to talk about is money in sports. And for those of you who kind of, don't know, it's like, I think, let's get this out of the way first, right? All athletes are overpaid for, their job and things like that. And this is on the generalization. This isn't like a guaranteed thing. Like, I kind of think that this is, like one of those things where you're like, either you admit that or you don't admit that, but they are overpaid in regards to like more important jobs, right? Like, let's face it. Yes, running a football is dangerous and all that, but it's not the most important job we have in the world. You know what I mean? I'm using the NFL as an example because I think they're kind of the quandary, money, you know what I mean? Like, because on one hand, that sport messes you the fuck up. On the other hand, it's like, you get paid all this money, you don't get any insurance, and things like that. So they kind of deserve a lot of what they get, you know what I mean? When I say, like, what I said was kind of true for most sports, with the exception of hockey and football and violent sports like MMA, boxing, and such. But, like, it's like, it's like a weird balance, you know what I mean? Like, yes, they get paid millions of dollars, and they need a lifetime of, lifetime assistance, basically, considering all the injuries they take and that stuff. Other sports, not so much. Other sports, it's kind of like, we're paying Bryce Harper all this money to do this, and it's like, it's not even, like, I'm not saying Bryce Harper is a bad player, I'm just saying it's like, people will kill me for this, but I almost think he's a little overrated in some aspects because baseball is truly a team game. Yes, I'm playing with the Nationals here, and I'm saying Bryce Harper's overrated, so I'm pretty much going to get killed by people saying, oh, well, you know what I mean? Like, they're nothing without him this coming year. I don't even know if he's going to resign with them. I don't keep my ear to that black top as much as I should. But it's like one of those things where it's like people will, go. I mean, I don't know. Money is weird because the players deserve it in a way in some sports, and then like golf, it's like you golf, congratulations. You walk from one hole to the next and you practice, and that's all. But it's a little bit different with different sports. Obviously, you can't just. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong because I made that big-ass assumption at the beginning of this video, but it's also like, you know what, I don't feel, I feel sorry for football and NHLers, the NFL and all that shit, because the NFL all these leagues are businesses, they're not really leagues, but it is kind of like, they will use you, they don't get out of paying you, they will do everything not to do it. But then, like, you hear some stories where guys not even cashing, like, game checks, and you're just like, dude, those people I don't feel as much sympathy for the, being broke part. You know what I mean? Like, if you get that money, I always feel bad for broke people in a way, they're broke, it's not great, I'm broke, myself, but it's like one of those things where, like, I feel bad for you, but the level on which I feel bad, it kind of goes downhill in some aspects. Like, if you're a millionaire sports athlete and you go broke, yes, I feel bad for you, but not, like, as if some of the people I've known, where it's just like, yeah, they've never had a shot. You know what I mean? But it is kind of like that. It's also like, when you go broke for millions of dollars, it's just like, okay, especially like, I was watching this thing where like some guys were like, yeah, we've been in cars with athletes and they've been like, oh, well, that's a game check. $500,000 is sitting there. Yeah, like, I don't feel as bad for that person as if they were like, you know what I mean? It's just not the same. but it's also like a little bit different. Like I don't even know what happened to that athlete. So if he's brain dead, I really feel bad for him. And it's just like it's also like money is also different for the WNBA and shit. Where it's like they don't get as much money. They don't. I don't know. WNBA to me is a little bit trickier because it's like wage equality. It's also like people who watch the sport and the sport itself being a little bit different are harder to make exciting. I actually like the aspect. One of the things that was brought up in another video. Not the name of the guy that did it, but he was like, yeah, they should just adapt the game. And what I mean by that is like they want to bring up all this excitement and stuff, you know, and that's cool. But to be honest with you, you got to make the game more exciting for people to, you know, like it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of difficult for me to say that because I mean I think the WNBA is good. Like I think some of the things they do is admirable. It's really admirable. First, they're into the whole pride LGBT thing, so that to me goes into the admirable, but not necessarily like. And this is me speaking from a business standpoint. When you go and make those political statements, you're going to piss off people. So if you're going to live and die by those statements, you got to live and die by them. Unfortunately, in our world, so you know what I mean. Like, I'm all for pride, but when you're a business, you got to focus on making money. And it's also like, you know, like, and the thing is, I'm gay and want to be a woman. I don't know what they do. Like, do they support transgender athletes? You know, do they support gay men, or is it just about the women? Like, you know what I mean? That's where it gets like really kind of like dicey. You know what I mean? Like, I think the best way to put it is you can't have a foot in, foot out. You know, I hate that so much sometimes in life, but in business you really can't because, like, you know, I live in Connecticut. There's a Connecticut Sun. I've never been to a game. This should say a lot about the WNBA and the money. Is like, look, Connecticut is a hotbed of women's basketball. You know, like there's tons of shit you could do with the whole state of Connecticut and women's basketball. It's like, you know, I mean, like, that's the part of the WNBA I don't really like and agree with. Is like, y'all want the money, but you gotta understand that there's like a weird kind of like, we want the money and we want the same treatment as everybody else, but you know, like I've never really gotten any publicity from the WNBA, you know? And I think that ties into the money because if you get more publicity, more people watch, more people, especially because, like I said, in Connecticut, oh my God, it's just, the avenue to get the money is just there. It's not even like a question. But the thing is with the WNBA, this is kind of a symptom of sports in general, right? In the areas, like, if I was running the Connecticut Sun, one of the things I would inquire about is a scrimmage, right? Or not a scrimmage, like basically like a publicity stunt with the UConn women's team. I mean, how could you not, like in some respects, get that going? Will the players hate it? Yeah, pretty much. But I don't even know the players would hate it. It's just more like, you know, this is ridiculous. Why not get a scrimmage going in Hartford? You know, like exhibition. You know, that way you drive up everything. You know, you get like all the people there, and you know, it's like, you know, it's like that's a good idea to me. But I don't know. It's also a lot of loopholes. I'm gonna admit that, because you got to get everybody going on the same page, and that's just tough to do. And also, you got to take into the fact that UConn women's team is really good. That's like a publicity stunt I would do if I was them. Just not like, you know what I mean? Just not in your face. Make it during the off season. Just have some fun with it, right? Like a futures game. You know, like All-Star Weekend or whatever. Like, because in this state, we would do that. But also, what I would do is, if I was the Connecticut Sun owner, and this is more a semblance of what's wrong with the WNBA in general, is if you want to play in the big house, or you want the big bucks, sometimes you have to play in the big house. You know what I mean? Why doesn't the Connecticut Sun play at the Civic Center? It's almost like I know that, like, I'm saying that, like, as you know, a really weird statement, because, like, in Hartford, you have the Civic Center. It's not a bad arena. It's a 40-year-old arena, so for what it's worth, it's good. Why in the hell doesn't the Connecticut Sun play there? You know what I mean? Like, and that always kind of set me, like, for a loop. You have them playing in a casino, which I don't care. I mean, to be honest with you, there was no, like, Hartford XL Center, it wouldn't bother me. But it's like one of those things where it's like, why don't they play there, like, at the XL Center? Like, that's like one of those, it's not an arena that's really in use. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean to say that it's not in use. I mean to say that it's like, it's an arena that you should be able to fill. You know, as someone that's been there in recent, like, you know, it's like, you know, it's not a big, like, what I mean say you should be filling it is more like into the work of, like, you know, the WNBA not. Oh my God, that was terrible. Yeah, well, whatever, I blew a run there. But, like, it's like one of those things where the WNBA is kind of, like, stuck. And I don't want it to be stuck. To be honest with you, I think it's a great thing to have that league. So I give up a home run here. Who the hell is batting? Conforto. Not Conforto. Whatever. Diaz. I don't know. I think it's Diaz. Yeah, there we go. So just what I need to do. I don't know. My team is. I don't know. I also kind of think that the WNBA is a good thing, but also, like, the way money works in the pros is, like, crazy. Like, can't even sell out Madison Square Garden. That's a little bit different. Like, XL Center, you know, different than Madison Square Garden. Like, we got nothing going on in summer in Hartford. Why is this not, like, an option? And it's almost like one of those things where it's like, it would make so much sense for them just to do it, because, you know, but it's also, like, I mean, just the whole money thing in sports is kind of ridiculous. Like, it prices out so many smaller markets. It's ridiculous. It's unthinkable. It's like I could understand just by, like, the way things go in the economics of Hartford, for example, why you don't have a hockey team or basketball team in Hartford in the NBA and NHL. Like, you know, it's like nobody is going to want to come to those games, and, like, the only reason WNBA doesn't want to be in Hartford is more probably because of the, you know, condition of the arena and things like that. That's different. But Hartford is, like, I always kind of think of Hartford as being the small market example, right? Because I live in Hartford. It's pretty much comparable to some small markets like Green Bay, Wisconsin, where it's just like, you know, the old school world that ain't going to work with the new one. And that's kind of not good for Hartford, I think. It's caught between the town and mentality, like the city and the town. You know what I mean? Like, city to me is like New York and Boston. Town is small. You know what I mean? Small town, whatever. But, anyways, sports is ridiculous. Like, my uncle goes to the Islanders games sometimes. And it's like, you know, like, they play in the Barclays Center, and the only reason they do that is because that's more profitable, I guess. And everybody in the NHL knows that arena is shit. Everybody. But, so it's almost like we will thumb our nose at arenas that were actually built for the sport we play because we want to stay in New York, but we want to play in a shit arena that doesn't support the sport. It's almost like, I mean, that bothers me. It's almost like, you know what? Oh, damn it. Yeah, that bothers me too, but that's a slightly different thing. You know, it's just like, I think money corrupts everything sometimes, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, you gotta make it to have, like, status and shit, but money corrupts. I gotta say, you know? It's almost like a weird kind of balance in the world, I guess. To be honest with you, I'm also thinking of doing something different, you know, with this channel, but maybe, because this kind of came off as bad. I think it came off as bad, my own opinion. Because, like, as much as I like to talk about sports, you gotta have scripts, and this is going behind the scenes, inside baseball. If you run a channel like me and you're just streaming, you know, maybe I could come up with a money and sports topic, you know, come back to this title at a later date and do that, because, you know, it's almost like I just ran off the top of my head, and it's not the good way to do this, but, you know, whatever. Especially, like, when you're doing a team like the Nationals, like, why? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back to the Brewers maybe a little bit later. Right. I gotta take my meds. I don't really like streaming taking them, but tonight's a weird night because I gotta do some shit. You know, I'm almost like probably gonna do something. I'm probably gonna come up with a topic or something, get some B-roll. Cause like I don't really like I like streaming, but I want to do some editing. I want to do some stuff. You know, maybe I'll get the free-to-player thing going on this game. Also, like, maybe not show the fact that I'm losing. That's always fun. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, we all want to see more videos where me just edit some stuff and not always have, you know, this streaming, because I don't mind streaming, but I don't particularly like hate it. You know, I want to do some more stuff. I also think streaming kind of doesn't translate well in certain sports. Like, I was gonna do more shit, but maybe I'll download some other games to keep me from losing my mind. Yeah, I gotta do so much shit. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life anymore. Yeah, maybe I'll start that. Because I do like having some B-roll and shit to go back to. We're gonna have to... I mean, today I was pissed because I was doing a long franchise mode in hockey, and that didn't capture to my PlayStation somehow. Because I was at my parents' house all day today, and it was like, yep, nothing's... I mean, they have the cheap internet, and that was just me there not being able to get a signal, so... That's almost like a lost cause, right? You're like... I mean, baseball is good, but other sports, I was like, oh, come on. The Whalers, man, this kind of brings me to another point of contention here. There'll never be another Hartford Whalers, but damn it, that owner that the computer generates always is shit. What I mean with that is, like, the computer be like, okay, getting fan happiness to 96. Okay, that's not really a bad goal, but that's also like, we're an expansion team, the way I set it up, and you know, it doesn't really work. You know what I mean? Not saying expansion teams are bad, but you want to have like draft picks. You know, don't prioritize. It's not don't prioritize fans. You always do that, but don't go all like, you know, oh, I'm gonna fire you. You know, I'm not happy with how you're doing, and your team kind of on purpose just finishes in the basement. Like, the first year, they're like, ooh, I'm like, okay. Also, I mean, I might come back to that video or do some more videos like that because I don't know anything about hockey, so it's almost like, you know, somebody that knows how to build a hockey team, like, tell me what the hell to do. I tried. Like I said, I tried. I did kind of fail. That's gonna not, okay, I got down. Obviously I'm not starting Marte right now. And Josh Reddick got hurt, so this team is kind of like stuck. I also brought up Andre Ethier because why keep that guy in the minors? It's not like I hate, you know, I don't know. Andre Ethier to me is kind of like a backup guy. He's also got the arm that Pollock doesn't have. So it's kind of like one of those, oh, okay, you don't do the arm Pollock, but I'll get you back with some guy that's a little bit older. And maybe do the corner outfielding. Alright, you know, maybe I'll just sim to the end of this. I'm not really carrying my body itches, so. Alright, let's go to the end of this shit and just stop. It's not even like I care. It's like a May game, June game. Who gives a shit?
Label 3. He's safe.
Yeah, we lost. We definitely. Yeah, we lost. Losing so much, but what are you gonna do? I'm just bouncing the ball because that's what I do when I'm nervous. With all y'all haters.
Our final line score this afternoon. First for the
Aroldis Chapman just kills
Philadelphia Phillies. 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error.
That's what he does. He goes in, knife to the throat. Alright. You know, for shits and giggles, let's do a minor league game. That might be a little bit better for me. Not a little bit better, more like I want to replace everybody, you know, so I don't know why I do that. It's just my thing. And of course it doesn't really work out like that, so let's just go to this game. Why not? Six and a half back. That's not bad. That's not great. Like, I'm not saying it's great. Fourth. Yeah, of course. Skip. And you know what? Fuck it. Do another team. Don't care. Maybe we do a playoff team. Maybe we don't. I'll do the Phillies. So we're not doing a playoff team. We're just doing a shit team. Why not do this? I really don't like LA, but whatever. Phillies are terrible. I lost with the like, oh shit. Only 3.5 back, that's good. We lost 3 straight games, but shit. You know what? I'll just go to this. I don't know. I really just like playing them when they're tired, so second Annalise rather. Okay. I like how we just don't place guys at certain positions, you know. That's apparently a thing. Especially like because, you know, when I modify a guy to play a second position, it's almost like they put him there and I'm like, dude, no, he doesn't go there. I don't know. Like, I would say Pedro Alvarez is not a third baseman, but I might put him at third today. I don't know. And of course, let's see what we got. Blanco. Yeah, him. Second. Kendrick. Place with this guy, because one is a B. He's 24. Maybe get him some starts. Alright. Oh, come on, man. What am I gonna do? I don't really feel like doing anything. I don't even know. Shit. Alright. We'll take this out. Stop recording, I guess, right? Who the fuck cares?